Namaste and welcome to Nari Shakti, an inspiring series by Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative of Government of India to celebrate 75 years of progressive India. With Nari Shakti, we are celebrating women experts from various fields who are enablers for women empowerment. Hi, I'm your host Dhara. I run Humane.club, which helps small businesses, think tanks, and media with websites. Our guest for this session is Ritu Kedia. She's an open water long distance swimmer and has swum 5 international channels, including the English Channel. She is a Tenzing Norgay National Adventure Awardee 2016, which is equivalent to Arjuna Award. Ritu is also founder of Cubane Solutions, an experiential education company. Hi Ritu, welcome to Nari Shakti.
Thank you, Dhara. Thanks for having me here.
So, Ritu, you have been recognized nationally and internationally as a long distance swimmer. What inspired you to pick up this sport? Can you share some of your personal experiences?
Sure. So I have an older sister, so it's just the two of us, and so she is also an international long distance sea swimmer. She has also swum the English Channel. She's also attending Norgay National Adventure Awardee.
Oh,
So when we
wow.
were kids, so our parents really motivated us. Otherwise, I come from Amravati. It's a small state in the small city in the middle of India. Ocean हमारे घर के आस-पास भी नहीं है. But for a child to have that vision, it's more about the parents, who encourage and inspire, who show a vision that something like this exists. So she is a swimmer, and there's a very interesting story behind how she got into swimming, but that will be very long. Anyway, so she started swimming when she was around 10 years old, and I was 5. So it generally hota hai, if it's an older sibling is going for a particular sport, तो छोटे को भी उसके साथ में वही स्पोर्ट खिलाया जाता है. एंड मेरे पेरेंट्स का था, स्पेशली माय फादर, कि बच्चे ने एक स्पोर्ट तो खेलना चाहिए. It brings fitness, it brings discipline. There's a different kind of teamwork that you learn, and it keeps you rooted to the ground. So that is how we got into it. And so she started swimming. My बुआ used to live in Mumbai, so we got to know. कभी उनके पास practice के लिए जाते थे. वहाँ के कोच से पता चला सी स्विमिंग भी कुछ होता है. सो बस शुरू कर दिया. एंड एक एटीट्यूड ऐसा है कि अगर कुछ कर रहे हो तो बेस्ट करो. And that is how what we have been brought up with. So we thought, okay, what's the best in sea swimming? It's English Channel. So that is how we set a goal and we worked on it.
Wow. So, there's a very famous quote from James Clear which says that, the habit that you follow every day largely determines your health, wealth, and happiness. So, what were those, tiny little habits that were inculcated very early on, to kind of pick up this path and, to just like in general to ensure
Right.
for the
Uh,
fitness in general? Yeah.
so there's an army of things that go into these things, but I'll tell you one biggest thing: show up.
Hmm.
However down you are, however bad you're feeling that day, however lazy you're feeling, don't give yourself excuses and show up. Even if you're not going to practice, a lot of times with girls, we have our periods, we have a lot of things. Sometimes we may not be able to practice, but we like you go and sit at the pool, stretch, and don't even swim, but you have to show up. So that habit, I think, continues to this day. However we are feeling, at the end of the day, we show up for whatever has to be done, whether it's in our personal life, whether it's in my professional life, whether as I was a student or a businesswoman, anything. I never feel down on energy because I know karna hai, and after you're done, you'll be fine. Energy gets replenished every day, every moment of your life. Yeah.
That's such a very simple, very simple concept, but like so hard to kind of, like people generally they pick up something and they are not able to get it to a completion, and like they just drop it in the middle.
I think
Um,
that is
yeah.
because another thing, that is because people are not clear on why they are doing something. If there is one
Hmm.
thing I learned from this is, when you have a very big goal, try to first clear it with yourself why you're doing it, because there will always be a challenge, and if you're not clear on the why, you will always feel like giving up. So
Right.
clear it. You don't have to share it with anyone. It can be a very selfish reason also. Whatever you do, just be honest with yourself and know why you're doing it.
Yeah, that's so important, knowing the why. I can literally see, that passion beaming through your eyes. So, what are those life lessons that you've learned, say, from swimming that you apply in your everyday life?
So one is would be why. So if anytime I start something, any project, any in any form, I first try to clear it in my head why I'm trying to do it. Secondly, I would say again, pain is now, glory is forever. So that is something we need to know. A lot of times we get bogged down by things, ab nahi ho pa raha hai, and I
Hmm.
just want to give up. At that point you have to understand how long will this pain last, but the result that you get, how long will that result be with you in your life for. Like English channel, or all the other channels I've done, I did some in 2007, some of them I did in 2016, but here we are still talking about it like 10 years later, right? So you have to understand how, what is the effort that is going and what is the result you're getting. And third is you have to understand that anything you're doing is finite. So distance is always finite. So whether you're swimming 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers, or whether you're running a marathon or a double marathon, it's the distance will be finite. It will take you longer to reach, but you will reach the end. If you have that in mind, journey right now will become easier.
Oh, so this brings me to my next question. Uh, like you've been practicing this since a while now. So, do you have any like personal story or any specific incident which really motivated you or demotivated you? Something that you'd like to share with us.
Yes, I can share both. So a very interesting incident is, in 2016 when I was swimming in Bangladesh. So a jellyfish stung me. So it had never happened. So I think you can still see the burn marks on my hand. My hand was completely burned because it's like a sting. It's like a hot acid has been thrown on you. It was really bad, but I didn't give up. I'm like, okay, it was the most pain I've ever felt in my entire life. That concentrated pain. But still, I swam for another 2 years, 2 hours, completed it. In fact, made a record in it. And then by the time I was hospitalized in Calcutta, it had been 2 days. It was my hand was swelling up. It was almost like this big, and because it's not a very usual thing that happens, doctors also don't know what has to be done. How to uh, take care of that. So in a lot of trial and error, it took very long, and then I was hospitalized. And the doctors sort of I don't know it was what kind of hospital it was, very, very commercial. They ended up, telling us, okay, you will have to get a surgery done, you have to, otherwise there will be poison फैल जाएगा, gangrene हो जाएगा, amputate करना पड़ेगा. And we have very, very good family doctors, who are like close like family to us. Like without them, we are not getting any surgery done. Just give us discharge, and we came back to Amravati. All of this was in Kolkata. We came back to Amravati. But when I was in that hospital for almost 1 hour, uh, I believe that I'm going to die because that is how scared they had made us, to get the surgery done. So, and the kind of things that went in my mind during that 1 hour really changed a lot of things that I see, in the perspective in a lot of things that I see. Yeah, that was one interesting incident, I can say.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
And what are your dreams and aspirations, and what future do you see for yourself?
Well, currently, right now, like you mentioned, I'm a founder of Cubane Solutions Private Limited. We are an experiential education firm. So we are trying to do something great in the education sector. We are trying to bring very innovative experiential learning tools, and trying to engage students more, helping institutes include these kind of tools in the curriculum, so that student engagement is higher, learning is higher, and we want to be able to do that for all sections of students, not just students who can pay very well, or mid level. We want to do it for all kinds of students, and because education is a great equalizer, so anybody through education can grow at any level in life. So I have now dedicated myself to the education and pursuit of education in India.
Do you have anything like in swimming? Do you want to do anything like what next in swimming? Is there any goals that you have or any next steps in that field?
In swimming, as of now, see, we have done all of these channels, and after a point, so let's say if you're a mountaineer, after climbing Mount Everest, after climbing one or two which are difficult. All these mountains. You want to move on, maybe to do something new in life. I have a lot of
Hmm.
intellectual pursuits. So as swimming, I'm not doing professionally. I swim recreationally. I'm very happy to guide swimmers who want to do sea swimming, but I'm not doing it professionally anymore. But yeah, I like to do it
Yeah.
recreationally. It's my how I unwind.
My last question for you. Women typically, handle so many responsibilities back at home and work that they often ignore their own physical and mental well-being. So, do you have any message or advice that you'd like to share for these kind of women, or in general, women who wants to pursue their like career in sports?
I think for anything, so I can say many things, but I think all of them can be summarized in this book. So it's been written by a lady called Apurva Purohit. So it's a book called "Lady, You're Not a Man." I think she says it so beautifully and in such a funny way. All these incidences. I think ultimately you have to stand up for yourself, not just in front of others, even in front of your own, even in your own mind. The social conditioning is so strong of putting yourself second, that we don't even realize how we do it very unconsciously or subconsciously. So, I mean, you don't have to be brash about it. You don't have to fight for something which is worth fighting for, or just for the sake of it. But what is even little bit important to you, I'm not saying very important to you, even little bit important for your health, for your physical, mental and emotional health, uh, you need to do it. You need to stand up for yourself, because दबाने वाले लोगों की कमी नहीं है, but ultimately you're the person who has to stand up for yourself, I feel. Yeah, that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just an attitude
Thanks, Ritu.
change in your mind.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you for sharing your journey and your story with us. It was really inspiring, and thank you for joining us today.